This is the 2025 Brewtubers Online Brewers Club Malt Experiment, Amber Ale. Thanks to our sponsors. 5 Star Chemicals. Check out their new online straight-to-consumer homebrew shop where you can buy everything from Star San and line cleaner to the new liquid PBW that can be used at temperatures as low as 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Check out their online store at 5starchemicals.com/home-brewing. Beer and Wine Hobby Homebrew Supply Store. A local homebrew shop in Danvers, Massachusetts. Order any malt they offer in any quantity you want, and if you order before 11 a.m., they'll package your items and ship out the very same day. Visit the store at www.beer-wine.com. Let's get tasting.
Cheers and welcome to Irondale Brewing. We are up to beer number 4 in the 2025 Brewtubers Amber Ale Malt Experiment, and today we have an offering from Drew at Underground Brewery, and his is Griffin-Dor. Hopefully my pour cam is focusing better this time. I don't know. I'll probably have to work on it. Apologies if it's not. And the reason he named it that, so first of all, I love the label because I'm a huge Family Guy fan, so that's an awesome label. And it even has Peter Griffin in his Harry Potter garb. And the reason it's named that is because Drew does a lot with gluten-free brewing. And this is not a totally gluten-free beer, but it has Griffin malt in it, which I had no idea, never heard of that before. What it was, did a little bit of research. Hopefully I found the right thing. Drew, please correct me if I didn't find the right thing. But Griffin malt is a type of millet, and it is characterized on Grouse Malt House is where it comes from, as high dried. I don't know how high dried differs from roasting. It may be the same thing, I don't know. But it is a malt that they say evokes flavors of plum, toffee, caramelized sugar, and chocolate, if I remember correctly. And it has a Lovabond of 50 to 70. They listed as SRM on their website, so hopefully I'm doing the conversion correctly. So that should add an interesting, not only flavor characteristic, but should add some nice color to the beer as well. So again, great label he used. We got to read this here. 2 pounds of Griffin malt in a, I assume 5-gallon batch, because judging by the total weight of the grains, this should have been a 5-gallon batch. So 2 pounds of Griffin malt. I don't know what percentage that works out to be. I will look it up. And he started with an original gravity of 1051, ended at 1012 for an ABV of 5.1. So great label, great name, great Family Guy reference, and I'm excited to try this malt. Never even heard of it before, so it'll be cool to give this a whirl. All right, had to get out the Bigfoot bottle opener for this one. Okay, nice hiss when I pop the cap off the bottle. It's a good sign. All right, let's give it a pour. I will scoot over this way and hopefully it'll be kind of in focus. That is looking good. I'll pour a little more aggressively towards the end there to get some bubbles going. Make sure I get some bubbles going. All right, that is a good looking beer. The color's fantastic. I'm gonna get an aroma check and then I will get back to the color. Wow. Yeah, a lot of fruitiness on this one. Definitely dark fruit. I don't get from the Griffin malt, I don't get so much the chocolate and caramelized sugar. We'll see if that comes out in the flavor, but aroma wise, definitely a lot of dark fruit coming through on the nose. And then color, that is a great color. I really like it. It's kind of a dark coppery red. Again, hopefully the focus won't be terrible on the pour cam. Great carbonation, a nice light tan head, nice tight bubbles. That all looks fantastic. Good looking beer. Yeah, and those bubbles are just coming up like crazy from the bottom. All right, let's go in for a taste. I'm excited. Again, never heard of this before. Love that label. Okay, let's see how this tastes. Wow, that's really interesting. So on the nose, a lot of dark fruit, plum type thing going on. But on the palate, the main thing I get is chocolate. Not like, chocolate, but like a chocolate malt roastiness sort of thing. Yeah, nice mouthfeel. It's very smooth. And the hop bitterness comes through a little bit in the finish. Yeah, that's really interesting. I do like it. That is really yeah. That's a pretty. I'm trying to think of what else to say. Very unique malt. The aroma is definitely something that. Oh, interesting. Now that's warming up a little bit, I'm getting a mix of that dark fruit, a little bit almost of a little bit of leather aroma going on too, as it's opening up a little bit. And so it's a dark fruit, kind of roasty chocolate malt, and a little bit of leather, which is interesting. Wow, that's a unique malt, and I've never messed around with millet in any of my beers before. Drew did send me, I think it was maybe a month or so ago, a gluten-free Mexican lager that was absolutely fantastic. He said a regular Mexican lager and the gluten-free one, and they were both great. That was by far the best gluten-free beer I've ever had, because I've had some pretty bad ones in the past. I think gluten-free brewing is getting, again, this is not totally gluten-free because it used that same base recipe that we all did, but I think gluten-free brewing is getting more attention and is getting better as a result. Back in the day, you'd have one brand, maybe if you're lucky, in your grocery store, and it would be sorghum and just not good. But yeah, Drew has it nailed down, if that Mexican lager is any indication. And yeah, this is a really interesting malt. I'm trying to think. I would probably say that I definitely would use it in an amber ale if you're going for the characteristics I mentioned. That I really do like the aroma quite a bit. Like I said, when I first opened it up, it was all dark fruit, and now that it's been sitting for a second, maybe got a little bit of the foam cap off of there, that the aroma is coming out with more of the chocolate. And like I said, the leather notes are really interesting. I don't think I've ever really gotten that from a beer, maybe some imperial stout kind of thing, but not in an amber ale for sure. So that's really an interesting characteristic. Yeah, and it drinks really nicely. Nice, smooth mouthfeel, and just a little bit of hop bitterness in the finish. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else to say about it. I don't think you'd have to, kind of like with the other beers I've reviewed so far, I don't think any of those things worked super well in and of themselves. I could see how you'd mix and match. Like I said, you might take that Carolina biscuit malt, mix it with some amber malt or something to counteract a little bit. And then the Cinnamar, probably in a lower dosage would be, fruit fly, would be workable in an amber ale. This, I think, stands alone very nicely. It is, and it's definitely unique. I think I'm having trouble trying to figure out really what to say about it, because it is a very unique flavor of malt. And as you can see, the color it adds to that is fantastic. That is a great looking amber ale. Yeah, that red copper, to me, that's dark enough that it doesn't need to be any darker for sure. But it's not too dark by any stretch. That is a really great looking beer. And I do love the addition of that Griffin malt. Like I said, I've never even heard of it before, so this is a really interesting one to try. I don't know what else to. I don't have a lot of a lot of criticism of this beer. I shouldn't even say that. Yeah, I don't have a lot to discuss here, because it is a really well-made beer. It's really well balanced. I don't know that I would change anything, really. The amount he added seems to be, it's enough that you can really taste it. I mean, now that I've been drinking more of it, as with all of these, I'd probably say maybe just if it was dialed back just a hair, not so much that you lose the color, because that's great. But as I kind of like it, it's not quite the same as the Carolina biscuit malt, but as I have more of it, that kind of dark fruit note is kind of sticking around and becoming more prominent, kind of lingering on the palate a little bit more. And the chocolate side of things is getting lost a little bit, if that makes sense. But it is a really, really nice beer. In terms of where I would rank it. So, okay, so first of all, I would absolutely use this in an amber ale. Never heard of it before, so thank you for making this, Drew. It's a really interesting malt, and this is a great beer and super well executed. I would say probably I would rank this, we'll go with number 2. I still like that Carolina biscuit malt a little bit better. Better's, I don't know. It's hard to rank these because they're all going to be unique beers. But if I'm talking about like, if we're trying to evaluate it from the standpoint of would I use this malt in an amber ale and what I think works well, I think this works just a little bit less well than that Carolina biscuit malt. But it is a really interesting addition to an amber ale, and I do really like it. And I'm so glad that Drew made this because I don't know that I would have come across Griffin Malt anywhere else. So that's a huge part of the fun of being in Brewtubers and doing these experiments is that you get to try stuff that I would have never tried this before. And in my brewing schedule, would I have worked this in? Probably not. But, that's why it's great to have all these brewers contribute all these different things. So you get to experience all these different specialty malts without having to spend, batch after batch doing them all yourself. Yeah, that is really nice. So we're going to go with number 2 for Griffin-Dor. And we'll get one more little pour cam over here. I call it the pour cam. I'm not pouring, but the close-up cam. Because that is just a fantastic color. The color comes out a little bit different between the two cameras, but hopefully you can get a sense of that kind of copper, red, amber, lovely color. That is just a great color for an amber ale. And I really do like the characteristics that Griffin Malt adds to this amber ale. So I think I'll leave it there. Thanks again, Drew, for making this. I'm definitely going to check out more about that malt, read more up on it than I did in the couple minutes before reviewing it. But that is really nice. It's a very unique malt. And thanks again for letting me try it in your excellent amber ale. So again, I don't know which one I'm going to try next. I think we'll leave it there for today. Thanks to Drew, thanks to Brewtubers, and we will see you for beer number 5. Cheers.